I'm Andrew, and I'm setting out to make better videos for diesel enthusiasts. Follow along as I review products, do how-tos, and share my personal trucks here on Just Diesels. Alright guys, I have a confession to make. I did the unthinkable. So I went out, my third gen, my gray truck, my baby, you guys have seen it on the channel a million times, fully built out, Carly Dominator system, you name it, I sold it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that happen, but I came across the opportunity to literally buy my dream third gen, and I kind of had my dream third gen. It had everything I wanted except for two flaws. One, it was an automatic, and two, the miles were kind of getting a little bit higher. I had 138,000. So I had the craziest opportunity to buy literally my dream truck, and I'm gonna show it to you guys, and it's probably not gonna make sense, but I'll explain why. So check this thing out. So the story of how this truck happened is actually really cool. You guys are all really awesome. A bunch of you guys always reach out to me on Instagram, send messages and stuff like that. And that's actually kind of how I found this truck. So I was always cruising Auto Trader, cruising Search Tempest, cruising Craigslist. I have a whole video on how I find these trucks, but I've always been kind of looking for a G56 third gen. And a few weeks ago, I kind of saw one cruise by, disappeared. Lo and behold, someone messages me on Instagram and is like, hey, I got this cool truck. I bet you would really appreciate it. So I was like, send me some photos. And so this guy starts sending me photos, and it's literally my dream truck. It's a 3500, 2006, G56 manual transmission, 40,000 original miles, PDM gray. I mean, literally every single thing I wanted was on this truck. And so he's sending me these photos over, and I was like, hey, any chance you want to sell that thing? And so I hounded him for weeks and weeks, and finally he said he would let go of it. And so my fiance and I made the trip up to Montana and got the truck. Now I was planning on actually vlogging the whole thing. Unfortunately, I wasn't sure how the transaction was gonna work out. I was kind of hesitant, thinking that maybe this truck wouldn't be worth the trip and we'd be turning around in a return flight. So I didn't film anything until I got the truck. But man, once I had this thing in my hands, I realized that it was an absolute gem. So Ian, if you're watching this, thank you so much for making this truck possible. Huge shout out to you. Here's a picture of me and him on the after we signed the paperwork at the DMV, but oh my gosh, is this truck cool. So I had the opportunity, my fiance and I drove it back from Montana to California. So we got to hit Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and California, all in a 3-day span. It was an awesome trip. If you've ever driven one of these G56 trucks though, you know it was a very slow drive. When I say slow, I literally mean that I lost track of how many semis I got passed by, because with these trucks, with a 373 rear gearing, G56 manual transmission, and the factory size tires, you're literally doing 2,500 RPM at 70, so you're done. So in Utah, where the speed limit's like 80, 85, everyone's going past you and you're literally going backwards. So regardless of that, it was a beautiful trip. We got to go through expansive deserts, mountains, forests, you name it. Absolutely gorgeous trip. And I got this thing home and it's absolutely incredible. So to answer the initial question of why I got this thing, let me take you guys for a drive, and I think it'll all kind of click in and make sense. So I'll answer the question that everyone is wondering, which is, why on earth would you sell a fully built truck for what looks like an identical truck? And I don't blame you for asking, but the reason why is right here. This is the G56 6-speed manual transmission. It is literally my favorite transmission ever put in a light duty, basically consumer grade pickup truck. I love this transmission. The way that it shifts, the way that it behaves, it has this little like pop and click as it goes into gear, like just everything about it is so much fun. And I really wanted to be able to shift my own gears. Like that was probably one of my biggest complaints about the old truck, and it wasn't that the automatic was bad, it's just that I love having a manual transmission. And I realized like if this was a truck that I was keeping literally for the rest of my life, which is kind of my plan with this truck, why would I not try and find the one that I really wanted? And so I've been looking for this truck for probably the better part of 6 to 7 years. Originally when I bought the 3rd gen that I have now, I was actually trying to find a manual and couldn't, and ended up finding that really clean truck. Bought it, I've been loving it, enjoying it for years, but the whole time I was looking for this truck. And so when things kind of clicked and fell in place and I was able to get this truck, I was so excited. Now the other cool thing about this truck is that it has 100,000 less miles than my other truck. So my other truck had 138,000 when I sold it. This one has 41,000 and I picked it up with 40. So it's pretty cool to be able to drop that kind of mileage in the truck. Is mileage everything? No. But the fact that I could find a truck that was in PDM gray, which is the color that I wanted, mineral metallic gray, G56 manual transmission, single owner, 41,000 miles, like it pretty much ticked every single box. It was also a very rare spec, so it's extremely uncommon to have a quad cab, short bed, 3500 in this gray color. Is it totally rare? No, but I would guarantee that there are very, very low production numbers on this truck, particularly because it is a short bed 3500 with the manual transmission. Most people that bought a truck like that were buying it with a long bed. Now, a lot of people ask me why I want a short bed. I really wanted the short bed because of the maneuverability. I do take the truck off-road, and having a long bed with that long wheelbase just is too much for me. So the quad cab short bed I think is like the perfect wheelbase where I'm able to get around. I still have room in the back seats. Would I have loved a mega cab? Yes, but again, the wheelbase is just a little bit too long for what I'd like to use the truck for. I wanted something more compact, and so that's why I've settled on this quad cab short bed truck and this platform. I also really love the looks of it. I've always kind of thought that the mega cabs look awkward. There's like that weird gap behind the back doors. Never really been a fan of that, so I love the look of the quad cab short bed trucks. Now this thing is bone stock. I have already put my SB intake in here. I also put my Alpine Halo 9 head unit in here now. But other than that, this thing is bone stock, and it's kind of fun to drive a completely stock 3rd gen again because I've gotten so used to how mine felt over the years of having that. This one definitely feels slow. It definitely feels bumpy, but we'll definitely take care of that. So for now, I just get to enjoy driving a completely stock truck for a little bit. The parts are definitely stacking up, so we've got some serious plans coming up for this thing. So yeah, this is literally my dream truck, and I'm so excited to dig into this build. One, because it's just cool to finally have the truck I've been looking for, I don't know, 7 years. But two, because it's gonna give me an opportunity to show you guys every step of the process. So when I started this channel, my other gray truck was pretty much done. So I didn't really have that much to show you guys other than a finished truck. With this one, I'm gonna be documenting every step of the build, going from a stock truck to what's actually gonna be really similar to my old truck in terms of looks, performance, parts, all that stuff. So we're gonna be doing a sport conversion on this truck, so full color match front end, all that stuff. After that, it's gonna be wheels, tires, lights, all that stuff. I will be doing a carless suspension system on this thing, probably aiming for a short arm dominator eventually once I get there. Head unit, blah, 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 you name it. So it's gonna be really, really cool to document this whole build on the channel and show you guys everything from start to finish. So keep an eye out if you're into these trucks. This is gonna be a really cool process. I'm kind of aiming to do, like my old truck, the most well-rounded truck I can possibly build. but with a G56 as a starting point and only 40K miles. So I can really go ham on this thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned because this is gonna be a really, really cool project.